Hi cooks, I'm Chef Gil Boyd, and we are here this month for our Spicescription recipe with salmon on papillote. That's going to be a salmon steamed in the oven. But first, the main flavor in this is the juniper berry. Juniper berry comes from a shrub. We see it in North America, also Europe, even up to the Himalayas. That juniper berry needs to age for like 3 years and gets it dried. We're going to crush it today to get that wonderful flavor out. That flavor has a little bit of citrus to it, some pungency as well in the juniper berry. You've probably had juniper and you didn't know it in gin, the main flavoring ingredient, also used in different marinades. The Scandinavians actually use it for dishes with elk and reindeer. So we're going to do it with salmon, but you could also use it with different dishes with vegetables or starches or whatnot. Even marinades as well. So we're going to get started here with our salmon en papillote. That means to cook in paper in French. And I'll show you 2 different ways to do that, either with foil or also with parchment paper. Alright cooks, let's talk about our ingredients. We got about a teaspoon, a little bit more than that, of our juniper. We also have Pacific flake sea salt, organic, kosher as well, from Spicetopia. We also have about 3 tablespoons of butter. We have a lime that we're going to be using, and we have salmon. Now salmon can be wild or farmed. The wild is going to be a little darker. This is a sockeye salmon, but you can use farm salmon too as well, so lighter in color. And this has a skin on it. You can do skin on or skin off, but we're going to be doing skin on. If you don't like the skin, of course, you can have it taken off ahead of time and you're all set. Let's get to prepping. Alright, so we have our butter. Like 3 tablespoons of butter. You want to cut that up in a little smaller pieces and make sure it gets warm. So leave it out a little bit because we're going to have to mash this up. We also have our juniper berries. The juniper berries, there's a couple ways you can smash this. One is you can take the bottom of a pan actually and go like that and smash them. See how I'm smashing them like that? Very good, right? Sticks a little bit. Or you can take your knife. You can smash it down with your knife. Smells great. This brings out the nice, great flavors in our juniper and the pungency and all that stuff. So smash them a bit like that with a knife, and you're going to do like a chop. So you can do a chop on the top, bunch it all together, and do a rough chop. Watch out for your finger. And chop, 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 just like that, and back and forth so it gets crushed. Think about crushing, really important. Once again, you can go with your knife, and there we go. So we got our crushing going, and our juniper. That looks good. It doesn't have to be fine, just crushed up. We're going to put that right there in with your butter. Okay, so that's in with your butter. Then we have a lime. We're going to get zest of a lime, and we're going to zest as much as you can. By the way, this amounts are going to be enough for like a couple fillets of salmon, so which comes to about a pound. If you're a little under a pound, it's okay. So there's our zest of our lime. Not lemon, but our lime. That's good, okay? So this is our zest. You can use a microplaner or a fine or a box grater. Okay, that's our zest of our lime goes in there. What we're going to do with our lime, though, is we're going to slice this. So you're going to slice it wafer thin, about 1/8 of an inch. Okay? You can also use a serrated knife. If your regular knife is not working, use a serrated knife and go all the way through to get your slices. They don't have to be perfect. Pretty thin. That's enough. Last one. Alright, there's our slices of our lime. We're going to put those off to the side. We've got our salt ready to go. And then we have our salmon. Now let's talk about the portions on our salmon, because they're going to go in a little pouch. You're going to see this shortly. So you need a salmon that's going to be at least, can't be more than like 5 inches for the size of the pocket that we're going to use. So this is a piece that's about a half a pound right here. I'm actually going to cut this in half because it's got to go inside the pocket you're going to see. You could actually make, if you're close to like a pound of salmon, you can make almost like 4 packets that you're going to see that we're going to make. So we're going to do them individually, just like that. I'm leaving the skin on. I have one more thing for you. Let's say you don't like the skin. You're like, I don't like salmon skin. What you can do is you can go underneath with your knife, right? And you can pull it. And what you do is you pull right towards the end of your salmon, and you flatten out your knife just like that, and you go away from yourself and you skin your salmon. So that's one option if you want to take the skin off. I like skin, so we're going to keep the skin on the ones I'm doing, but that's your option if you want to take the skin off. So those are pieces of salmon. So next, let's talk about our pockets. All right, we have our oven preheated at 375. We have all those lovely ingredients, our butter, our juniper, our lime zest, all into the bowl. You're gonna smash that around. You can use your hand if you want, just to smash it up. Smash, smash, and smash, just like that. The softer the butter is, the easier it is. Let me get that all smashed up. There we go. Just like that. So we have our butter. This is what we call a compound butter. Okay, that's what we call a compound butter. When you have a soft butter with a bunch of ingredients in it, there we go. So that's our smashed compound butter. Next, it's time to make our packets. Now, there's two ways you can use. You can use foil or you can use parchment. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do two different ones just for the fun of it, so you see it. So, what's going to happen is you can take a little bit of your butter and put it on the bottom of your parchment like that, just to spread it out. Then we're going to put our piece of salmon on there, just like that. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper. And, of course, our kosher Pacific flaked salt, which is organic, on top of that salmon that we have from your Spicescription. We have our butter that's going to go on top of there. So you're talking about a tablespoon or so of your butter right there in with your salmon, right? Then we're going to actually add a little bit of our lime juice that's left over. Just a little bit of lime juice. There we go. And then we're going to put our slices of lime on there. Now, you're going to get some juice from the lime. It's going to give it some moisture as it's going to be steaming. I'm going to do this two different ways so you'll see. If you want to have a butter on top, there's our lime. Now we're going to make a pocket. So what happens to make a pocket is parchment paper. You're going to fold that over. All right? So this is about 8 to 10 inches on this length all the way through. I pull from my parchment paper. You're going to make a half of a heart. So you're going to take your scissors. Take some scissors and you're going to cut kind of like half a heart. You're going to see. So you can cut this ahead of time, but sometimes I just cut it afterwards to make our little half a heart. Okay? All around. You can cut it with a knife too. So we have half a heart. There's a full heart. There's a half a heart. There you go. So now's the hard part. We're going to start to fold our ends on the corner. We're going to fold over and fold over. I have students even in culinary school that have a hard time, but you're going to be able to do this. And fold over. I keep creasing and creasing and creasing. I'm making a little packet like I'm doing origami. Creasing and creasing. Okay, see that? And creasing again. Now, if you're ever doing this again, you can also put wine or something in there, this little pocket, and that gives them the extra moisture, but we're going to find like this, okay? And we're going to fold over again, so now we're going to fold underneath. So we make our little packet on papillote in paper. So there's our first packet. That's how you can do it with parchment paper. All right? You're going to do these individually for your individual pieces. It's easier that way. So we're talking about, 5 to 6 ounces a piece, and there's one. Now let's say you don't have any parchment. You can use some foil. I don't really cut the foil. What I do with that is I put a little bit of the butter on the bottom, okay? Then I put my salmon piece there. Oh, also you can do skin side up, by the way. I did skin side down on that. You can also do skin side up. So then we're going to put more of our butter on the top, okay? We have our organic kosher sea salt flaked there, all right? A little bit more butter. Then we have our slices of our limes. 1, 2, or 3. There you go. A little bit of pepper all around. Now, it's a little easier with foil. This time I have the skin side up. I'm going to fold it over, right? And I just have a half, like a rectangle. All I'm doing with this is kind of folding our packet and over, and then press down, over again. A little easier with foil. You don't have to be as diligent and precise with your folds. There we go, and tuck it in, just like those old aluminum commercials, just like that. So there's 2 different ways you can do your packet, all right? Our oven is preheated at 375. We're gonna put these in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Make sure on the paper ones that you have that folds tucked underneath, because it's got to steam, okay? Let's get ready to go in the oven. All right, we're gonna go in the oven. Oven's preheated, and there we go, 12 to 15 minutes. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. Let's check out and see where we are out of the oven. So, what are we looking for? One is that if you use the parchment paper, is that it's puffed up. That's a good sign that it's turned color and it's puffed up. Also, you're going to press right down on the salmon, and it's going to feel firm. The firmer it feels, that means it's done. All right, so next, let's get ready to plate this. All right, out of the oven. It's going to be hot. I'm used to touching stuff really hot because I cook every day, but you're going to be really careful to unwrap it. Now, some places in restaurants, they actually slash it. They cut it right there in the paper and open it up that way, but I kind of like unwrapping the paper, all right? Ah, this is awesome. I got the moisture. I love it. So sometimes you'll see this dish where it has wine in it and has moisture, but we're going to put both these fillets on the plate, and you're going to see. So there we go. Look at our moisture there. We're going to pour that right on top of our salmon. Very nice. We have another one. Let's look in the foil. So you see two different ways. This is with the skin side down, and here we have it in the foil with the skin side up. I'm excited. So here we go. Here's the other one. So you see two different ways you can do it. Nice and hot. There we go. And then our lovely butter. Put that in our liquid. We call the natural juices, or the cuisson in French, is all there. Make sure all that lovely juice is right on top of the salmon. There you go. All right, Chef Gil here for the Spicetopia Spicescription on papillote, how we say it. There's different ways you can do your steaming. It's like kind of the Asian way of doing stuff inside a banana leaf or stuff like that, or a corn husk like in a tamale. So we see two different ways we can do it. You can use a paper bag if you have to, but we have the aluminum foil or the parchment paper. So the sky's the limit. You can also use that flavoring of juniper for vegetables or whatnot in packet as well, with butter or olive oil or herbs, you name it. So there's many different ways you can go. So definitely enjoy this month's recipe with Spicescription.